No, genetics and genomics are not the same thing. Genomics is the study of our entire genome and all the genes it contains. So to give you an idea of size, almost every cell in our body contains roughly 3 billion DNA base pairs and 20 to 25,000 genes. But genomics is also the study of how genes interact together, along with diet, lifestyle, and environment, to play a role in disease development. Genetics, on the other hand, is more focused on understanding how certain genes can, on their own, be responsible for certain diseases. Clinical medicine is still very focused on genetics, but it is changing and genomics is starting to emerge as well. Genomics is helping us identify the many variants in the genome that can play a role in more common diseases like type 2 diabetes. Those variants are more common in the population and they have a very low impact on their own. But taken together, they can greatly increase the risk for certain diseases, almost as much as having one pathogenic variant in a gene like BRCA1. So capturing this impact is done by calculating what is known as a polygenic risk score, or PRS for short. PRS are designed to capture the combined effect of those many low-impact common variants that, taken together, can really affect someone's risk for a given disease, like another example, coronary artery disease.
Yes, polygenic risk scores are being used to change how patients are managed. There is already early adoption of PRS in some healthcare settings. One place this is happening is at Massachusetts General Hospital. The Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Center and the preventive genomics clinics there are both taking a prevention as treatment approach to heart disease. And as part of their programs, they're using PRS for coronary artery disease. Well, one way PRS for coronary artery disease can be used in the clinic is to improve risk prediction. So a number of studies have now shown that combining PRS for coronary artery disease with standard risk prediction equations improves the ability to predict risk. So this improved risk stratification could identify patients who are candidates for earlier preventative therapies like statins or diet and lifestyle therapies. Another way PRS can be used for coronary artery disease in the clinic is to help identify who may benefit more from certain treatments. We now have research showing that people with high PRS for coronary artery disease benefit more from statins than people with low PRS, despite similar LDL cholesterol lowering. So this type of information could be used to help identify the best candidates for statins, and it could also potentially be used to decrease the total number of people that need to be treated. Yes, diet and lifestyle do play a role if a person has high PRS. I'm glad you asked about this because there's been some fear that people with high PRS for a disease would benefit less from healthy diet and lifestyles. But so far, at least, this doesn't seem to be the case. We have research now showing that, at least for certain diseases like coronary artery disease, that healthy diet and lifestyle actually reduce the impact of high PRS. So if you had a high PRS for a disease, or if any of us did, it could actually motivate us to make diet and lifestyle changes. One of the biggest studies so far on this took place in Finland, and the participants were provided their 10-year risk for coronary artery disease, and that was based on their traditional risk factors plus their PRS for coronary artery disease. And one of the key aspects of this study was there was a web-based interactive tool that allowed the participants to see how adopting a specific lifestyle change would change their overall 10-year risk. The Finnish study is still ongoing, but the preliminary findings are really encouraging. Almost twice as many people in the high-risk group were able to make lifestyle changes compared to the low-risk group. They did things like they lost weight and they quit smoking, and they were able to maintain their changes. Now, we do have some other studies that show that people did not alter their diets or lifestyles when they were given their PRS for cardiovascular disease. So overall, we do need more research in this area.
Another exciting area for PRS is cancer screening and prevention. We know that rare variants in genes like BRCA1 and BRCA2 explain a portion of familial risk for breast cancer. But we also know that the combined impact of many common genetic variants also affect breast cancer risk. In studies looking at multiple ethnic populations, women with the highest PRS had at least a twofold increased risk for breast cancer compared to the women with the lowest PRS. The Wisdom clinical study is recruiting 100,000 women to assess the impact of both genetics and genomics in breast cancer screening. Based on the participants' genetic results and their PRS for breast cancer, a mammogram may be recommended anytime between every 6 months to every 2 years. The ultimate goal is to develop a personalized approach to breast screening that is based on the woman's individual risk for breast cancer, including breast density, genetics, genomics, and family health history.
All of this really paints a picture of a more precise and personalized way of practicing medicine using genetics and genomics. Healthcare is going to continue to become more personalized and precision-based as genetics and genomics continue to be more incorporated into medicine. And adding other omics to the mix, like metabolomics, proteomics, and the microbiome, is pushing medicine even more towards personalization and precision. We now have ways to integrate these huge amounts of data, and this is allowing us to better understand disease and learn how to better prevent and treat it.